Why, hello everyone. It is Studfit here, and I'm here to do the rundown for the Sunset Tour. So I know this is, it's been a while since I've been in front of you and done this specific type of video, but I got a lot of feedback from people saying, hey, I loved the rundown. Can you keep doing it? It's a decent amount of work, and to be honest with you, I woke up pretty early. I think I've done one run on Sunset Wind. So, but I wanted to get this information out to you guys. I think the goal of this video, again, if you like these, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is something that you want me to keep doing, and I will try to keep them rolling. But essentially, the purpose of this was, there are a number of information I'm trying to look for when a new tour is released, and I thought it might make sense for me to be able to put that together in one video and basically provide it to everyone. There are a lot of YouTube content creators, and they all do a great job in their own way. A lot of them cover similar things. I think what I try to do is try to provide really as much information, meta level, from a gaming strategy perspective for you to be able to make the right decisions. I specifically focus on high-end items. So from that standpoint, I don't really talk a lot about supers, normals, commons, whatever you want to call them. I'm really focused on high-end. So forgive me if I'm talking in that mindset. That's what I'm focused on. And there are other videos that kind of cover basic, more of an enjoyment of the game type of videos. Mine are more around strategy. My goal is really to be able to, from an analytical standpoint, let you know what's happening in the game. And so hopefully to help you prepare to make better decisions when it comes to using tickets and investing in your portfolio, etc., deciding whether or not to pull on pipes. And that's really where I fall into play. So with that being said, I go over a lot of information that a lot would be considered spoilers. So again, for me, I just want to know the information so I can make the best decisions. Other people say, hey, I want to just enjoy the game. I don't really care about all cup ranking. I don't really care about a lot of what you care about, Studfit. So, hey, not a problem. There's a lot of videos out there. Definitely enjoy whatever one you feel fits your gaming style. For me, I do, all cup ranking. I do want to know, where's the best. And I think, even the casual free-to-play player wants to know how to use their tickets because they're even more rare. So from that standpoint, you make a wrong mistake. You put, like when I started, I put a high-end ticket on a Hanafuda. I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was the Peach, and I'll never get that ticket back. And so for me, I wish somebody was putting that together. Hopefully this is providing that to you. And again, I do it more, I'm going to probably do the research anyway. And I've collaborated a lot with Tabor, and he does a phenomenal job. Definitely check out his spreadsheets if you haven't already. But some of that information is kind of taken from there as well. So we'll jump right into it. First off, one of the biggest changes, the maximum tier has been changed from 50 to 60. This is huge. When you think about the complaints about the game, it's that there's the tier matching, etc. And part of that problem might be kind of this bottleneck of so many people. I mean, who knows? Maybe half the game is at level 50, all just sitting there in a giant pool, just being randomly selected against each other. What if that was that way that the game is, essentially kind of categorizing you is a little bit more stratified? What if you had kind of a wider range of tiers? So from that standpoint, I think overall it could be a great strategy. But that's it's definitely a game changer. I think some people are saying, hey, it'd be great if we got better rewards for higher tiers. Hey, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Again, I think we talked about, high hopes, low expectations. I'm not going to expect that. It'd be wonderful. I love it. But one of the things that I saw is I took a look at the standard challenges. No new challenges here that kind of added, like for hit tier 60, etc. Not added from what I could tell. So from that standpoint, we might get another womp womp update here, and that these tiers keep climbing, but not a lot of benefit there. So take it with a grain of salt. Tiers are going up. Hopefully that also impacts the tier shop and what can be added there too. I took a look at the daily selects. From what I could tell, nothing had changed from the last one or two tours. But I do want to kind of point things out. There are some high ends that some people may not know are in there. Things like the Cloud Glider, things like the Badwagon, things like Bumblebee. That if you look closely, they've been in there. They're just so rare. They only pop up, once or twice a year for some people, that it may not be as relevant. But from what I could tell, this list did not change. All right, so again, spoiler alert, these are the packs for this tour. You see there are two 45 packs at the top, two shown on the bottom, with the top of both being this week. So we have Black Yoshi and a driver point ticket in the 45 Ruby pack for this week, as well as the third one down, the Black Dozer a 90 pack along with Waluigi. Both of these items are good, and I'll get into why they are good. But then you have also the packs for next week. Many of you might already have these items, so if you are thinking about, hey, I want to have rubies going into this 50 pipe, it might actually make more sense to go into and get the packs for this first week. And I'll get into a little bit why, but you have Dragon Wings for week 2 as the 45 pack, and the Cactex, along with, it looks like, Firebro as the little bonus guy for that 90 pack. So I'll get into each of these, and then you also have the Sunset Cloud, which, depending on where you live, comes at a different cost. Where I live, I believe it was $3.99, so it's a pretty decent pack. It looks beautiful. If you don't like how the Cloud9 handles, though, you may not enjoy this. To me, it felt very familiar. But I'm not a big fan of the Cloud9, so take that with a grain of salt. If you're not a big fan, you may not want to, especially for this free to play where you might only get one or two things. I'm thinking of you, Tabor. I know you missed out on the Happy Ride. You might just want to get one of it. It's up to you on how you want to spend your money. But from that standpoint, just want to put that out there. That is there. We'll get into that here in a second. So first off, we'll kind of talk about the only new driver and the only new glider. So first, Peach Explorer. She's got Bob-omb Cannon. Not the best skill. I actually like that skill myself, but it's not, I think a lot of people don't necessarily think it is the best. She's got a decent number of courses already right off the bat. Sunset Winds, Calamari Desert 2, Dino Dino Jungle R, Royal Raceway T, like the other Peaches, Calamari Desert 2T. So a lot of Calamari 2 investment there. Then she also has Calamari R2, 2R, Dino Dino Jungle T, Dino Dino Jungle, Sunset Winds T. Again, when you're talking about those level 3 and level 6 bonus tracks. And then, I'll get into a little bit of that, but because we'll talk at the end of the video, and if you really only came here for it, feel free to forward to the end of the video, but we'll kind of talk about who got buffed this tour as well, and it kind of goes over some of that information. Sunset Balloons, you obviously have Sunset Winds, Sunset T, Royal Raceway T, and then you have, for level 3, you have the Neo Bowser, what is that? Just the regular Neo Bowser City, Waluigi RT, Sunset Winds R, and Neo Bowser City T. So one of the things that I've noticed from last tour is that they, if you can get something to a level 6, at least for some of these newer items, they'll have all 3 tracks, normal, R, and T. Again, I can't say it exclusively for all items, but one of the things I noticed is for many of them, I think what I'm trying to remember what I was looking at. I think it was the crawler cart, where if you get it to level 6, it covers all of Maple Treeway. So from that standpoint, if you want one cart to rule them all, feel free to invest all in there versus one of the other carts. So putting it out there, if you want, if you feel like, whether you're doing all cup ranking or whatever, you want to be able to invest in a cart for all 3 tracks, and you just want to know that you have Maple Treeway covered, or you have Sunset Winds covered, to be able to kind of put them all into the same cart for all 3 tracks. That's new. I like it because it's easy for us to remember. Ideally, again, it would be great if we could click onto any of these tracks and see what else covers it, but it's just helpful to kind of keep that in mind. It's a trend that I've been noticing. And so from that standpoint, getting into the carts for this tour, the commemorative cart on the left, as well as also the Black Dozer. These skills, to be honest with you, are not that great. I like that dash panel, and actually they're sneaky good for trick tracks because a lot of these jumps and tricks have some type of panel on them, or there's just panels kind of scattered through the track. So from that standpoint, Dash Panel Plus is kind of middle of the pack. I like it a lot more. Actually, to me, it actually could be maybe number 2, or definitely number 3 if worst case scenario there from your perspective. And then you have Black Dozer. So we talk about those tracks for this new cloud, Sunset Cloud. You have Koopa Troopa Beach and Sunset Winds R, Royal Raceway T, Royal Raceway R, and then the level 6 tracks are, Royal Raceway T, Royal Raceway R are the level 3, and then you have DK Pass RT and Sunset Winds T as those top 6 tracks, those level 6 tracks. Then for Black Dozer, Calamari Desert 2, T, 2R. So again, this would be a great pairing to go with Peach Explorer, and from that standpoint, she's got a couple of these 2 Calamari Desert 2 tracks. You have Neo Bowser City R, Neo Bowser City level being level 3, Waluigi Pinball RT at level 3, Pinball Dino Jungle level 6, Sunset Winds R. So I think it's what's new about this since I've last done a video with you. These level 3 and level 6 bonus tracks. I think Tabor and I have been mulling over what do we do with this. How do we kind of show you this information, especially because they won't show you that it's a level 6 item. Like for this example, you won't know that it has Dino Jungle until it hits level 5. And then it'll let you know that you can upgrade it to just one level to get it available. So if you have it at level 3, you may have no idea that you could put 2 tickets or however many tickets into it. I guess in this case 4 to take it to level 6 and have it be a part of it. Now you may not be sitting on 4 tickets, so it may not be that big of a deal. And that's probably why Nintendo thought about doing it that way. But for what it's worth, just kind of wanted to cover that. So now let's jump into the pipe. This is where I usually, one of the first places I usually look. I want to know what's going on in the pipe, what changes are available in the pipe, etc. So we have this this Peach Explorer pipe with Peach Explorer, the off-roader, which we are very familiar with, and then this new Cloud Glider. So let's first talk about what else is in the pipe in addition to these spotlights, which we just covered. One is that there is one high end in this pipe, which could be any of these 8 options. Now, most likely based on, and I can get into this later, but most likely what they've done in the past is this Peach Explorer is replacing these Peachette and Captain Toad next week in next week's pipe. So, kind of take it from a grain of salt. From this standpoint, there's a very low chance you could get Peachette, Explorer, Captain Toad if you want them. Get into what next week's pipe spotlights could be, but from that standpoint, they are in this pipe, very low odds. Next, getting into what else is in this pipe when it comes to carts. It's a lot of these have been the same. The new one I would want to point out would be the Sports Coupe. It's been a while since I've done this video, but most everything else has been pretty standard. When I say permanently in the pipe, I mean these could change. But mostly they've been just adding them. They've kind of started with a small number and then added, the Sushi Racer, or added, the Koopa King, or added the Green Circuit. So from that standpoint, the newest one added has been the Sports Coupe, and that is there in the pipe. This is kind of how they've done it in the past. In the same way that they have Toad at Explorer and Captain Toad, they also have next week's carts that most likely are spotlighted in that pipe, in this pipe. So from that standpoint, there's Clanky Cart and Clackety Cart. I'm not sure why they named them so close to each other, but both of those carts are an option from that one high-end cart along with all these. So again, very, very low rates, but I just want to kind of point that out there. These could be selected, but most likely if you want these, wait till next week. There's a good chance based on what they've done in the past that those will be spotlights. Going into what else is in the pipe when it comes to a glider, for that one high-end glider in the pipe. The treasure map is the one new added. Most everything else has stayed the same. But all of these, whether it's these carts or these gliders, these are great investments. These are ones that Nintendo knows that you're going to have more of. They're less rare, and so they tend to be incorporated into ranked and some of these tracks more frequently. So these would be a good ones to have. I think for my strategy, I've kind of talked a little bit about, hey, I'm going to take all these items to 5 if I can, and then let the game, because you hate to have 100 pipe and then pull one of these items, even if you had it at 6 already. So if you have it at 5 though, you have 3 chances to finally get it. the game's not, going anywhere. You can kind of think about it that way, and these new pipes will keep having these. So eventually you'll get to 6, just assuming that you play the game and keep pulling on these pipes. So kind of a newer strategy there, but the treasure map is added to this item. So here we go. So here, again, another spoiler. This is next week's 100 pipe. So we have two drivers that have been a part of the game for a while, since that original Chaco Mountain release there and the kind of the Explorer Tour. But you can see in the background the 2 carts that we just talked about, that treasure map. So most likely what's going to happen, I don't know if they'll have it, again, who knows, man. After this anniversary tour, we were kind of blown out of the water with the 12 high ends. There's a chance that this could also, just kind of putting it out there for the world to hear, this could be like the LA tour, where we had Dixie and Funky and a couple other items spotlighted. So there could be a chance. I mean, in that pipe, there were 9 spotlights. This could potentially be the same as well. They could also just keep it to 6. There's definitely that possibility there, but just kind of wanted to talk about that. This is what's out there for us to be able to view. Some items that are any item that's not normally in the pipe that would stick out to me would be these 2 carts and the treasure map. Just kind of putting that out there, as well as the CAC decks or maybe something else. Who knows? But from that standpoint, just kind of wanted to point that out. Here's my favorite pipe, my favorite segment of looking at this, because you know how much I love these special pipes. A 50 pipe with a lot of interesting items. Items I do not have maxed. I definitely want to be pulling on this video, so definitely look out for that on Sunday. But from that standpoint, you got 2 top 10 gliders. If you are familiar with Tabor and I's top 10 lists, that Daisy glider and the Peach parachute. Obviously the gold and silver balloons were very, very handy here recently. You have the different prancers, the gilded prancer and regular prancer. Both are awesome. I think the gilded prancer is a pretty top favorite because of the jump boost plus and some of its coverage covering the snow tracks there. Sweet Day Tripper, if you've looked at any of Tabor's recent top 10 lists, that one snuck in. I think it's at number 9 now. It might change by the end of the day, but it's popped into the top 10. So a sneaky, high level, or high value cart there to keep in mind. Silver Bells is good as well. So we'll see. Peach Wedding obviously was a top 10 driver in our list, and for those who play multiplayer, this Daisy Fairy is arguably the top driver you could possibly have. So decent pipe. I don't have any of these things. I don't even think more than level, except for maybe this silver and gold. Definitely a great pipe. It's definitely worth looking into. We'll see what the odds are. Again, we've never had a 50 pipe with a 1-to-1 odds with drivers in it. So from that standpoint, you might want to expect a 1-1-1, a 1 driver, 1 cart, 1 glider. That would be my expectations. 3 items in a 50 pipe, 3 high-end items. That would be my expectation. But excited about that. There also is a token tour starting that same day. It will be shell related, it looks like, which if you are familiar, some of the ones where they're scattered on the map, on the track there, those are some of the easiest ones to get. The ones where you have to hit shells seem to be one of the hardest to get. Those are, I think from a standpoint of like, say, bananas, you can pick the driver that has bananas. For this one, you might want to pick up someone who has a Bowser shell, someone like, Dry Bowser as an example, and be able to go get into that frenzy and just keep hitting people with those. Outside of that, there's no driver where there's special kill outside of like a triple shell, which I don't think anyone really has a top favorite skill. Really, kind of that Dry Bowser is going to be your best bet. Appreciate ComTrue sent me this. So these are the tracks that are currently hidden. Tracks that will be unlocked in the next 4 or 5 days, depending on if you use a quick ticket or not. If you don't want to use a quick ticket, these are what those tracks look like. And we've already done some preliminary feelers out there as to what that last bonus track will be, that boss track. Sometimes they've had things like Nabbit or Kick Bomb be in that boss challenge. And it is Dry Bowser. And with that being said, doesn't look like any new characters coming out due to this. So you might want to hold on to your quick tickets, and for at least this tour, there are some, I guess, little mini Dry Bowser or Dry Bones in there. to make it a little bit more fun, but doesn't look like any new characters released based on that. Okay, now it's time for, I think, a lot of people's favorite part here, just because not a lot of people get into it. And Tabor's done a great job of putting a lot of this information. I would highly recommend taking a look at his spreadsheets and really being able to get into depth here. But here's who got buffed. So we got Black Yoshi. He got buffed. He got Sunset Winds regular and Sunset Winds T. None of the current drivers that you see on this page got a level 3 or level 6 like bonus track. So these are all just level 1 tracks that they just got off right off the bat. So Black Yoshi, again, those two Sunset regular and T. You have King Bob-omb, which he got two. He got Waluigi Pinball RT and Sunset Winds. For those of you who are familiar with that, we have Peach Halloween. She got Royal Wasteway and Royal Wasteway T, so she joins those other Peaches on that track. We got Mario Halloween. He has 2 new tracks to hit 9 total. He has Mario Circuit T and Neo Bowser City R, again, to bring him up to that total of 9. You have Mario Sunshine, who's quickly adding value with a total of now 17 top tracks. He got added Koopa Troopa Beach and Koopa Troopa Beach T. Makes sense with the cool print there on his t-shirt with his goofy dad outfit there. We got King Boo Gold. He got 2 new tracks. We have Calamari Desert 2T and Calamari Desert 2R. So again, I think we had some of those tracks had PGP or another Coinbox character, so may not be that exciting. You probably already have those other ones at a high list. From that standpoint, we got Shy Guy Gold. He got 1 new track, and let's see which one that one was. Sunset Winds. You got Yoshi Egg Hunt. He added 1 for 18, a total of 18. He got the Sunset Winds R. You have Nabbit. He got 1 track, and really the rest of these are all just 1 track. But Nabbit ended up getting Waluigi Pinball RT, so it's an interesting one there for him. Toadette Explorer. Got Koopa Troopa Beach T. You have Captain Toad. Captain Toad got Sunset Winds R. You have Builder Mario. Builder Mario got Sunset Winds T. Classic Luigi, he got Sunset Winds. Mario Classic got Sunset Winds R. So, like, again, they're not overlapping whatsoever there. Daisy Fairy, let's see. Daisy got Sunset Winds R. And Peach Wedding, she got 1 track. And she got Sunset Winds T. So it kind of goes over who got buffed with drivers. Going into the carts, let's see here. All right, first we're starting off with the DK Maximum. Great cart for those who had them. He got DK Pass RT, Sunset Winds T, and Dino Jungle. We have the Gilded King, kind of the reskin of the classic King cart that we're Koopa King that we're all familiar with and enjoy. He's definitely got a cool look to him. He's got Neo Bowser City R, Neo Bowser City T, and Dino Jungle R. You have the Sports Coupe, obviously a newer cart there. Got Mario Circuit R, Mario Circuit T, and Neo Bowser City. So those are some interesting ones there. Got the Off-Roader, obviously a big cart, a cart that's been in our top 10. I just put some tickets on him because I just love the way it handles. You know how much I love that specific cart. It got Sunset Winds and Sunset Winds R. Green Circuit, obviously a newer cart. It got really buffed in the anniversary tour, and the downside to that, it got a lot of city tracks. So although you see 18 here, just know that some of these are assumed. There are a lot of tracks that are city tracks, a lot of tracks. So just keep that in mind, but it did get Mario Circuit and Mario Circuit R. Got the Silver Bullet Blaster. You know where I stand on this. The phrase, there's no such thing as a silver bullet, meaning something that covers, and can solve multiple problems, almost all the problems. So this has been continuously dripping with value every single tour. It has DK Pass RT and Waluigi Pinball RT. You don't necessarily like that it gets a lot of RT tracks because those come back a little bit more rare, but they keep adding tracks to it, and now it's up to 15. Get the Pumpkin cart, which is obviously a newer cart. Not everyone pulled for it all the way down, but with Mini Turbo Plus, it's a great cart. You got Neo Bowser City and Neo Bowser City R. You got the Dark Trickster. I know this pipe I didn't even go into. I was not a big fan of the any of the Halloween items per se, but I didn't go for anything in that pipe. But it got Waluigi Pinball RT and Sunset Winds T. Decent there. Crawley cart. Interesting cart. Still undecided as to if I like it or not. But it now has Sunset Winds and Royal Raceway as the two it added to get up to number 10. The Red B Dasher, which is interesting because it came in a Gold Pass gift for this tour. It got one new track, which is the. Sorry, I'm looking on this list. It's got the Sunset Winds R. So I'm still deciding if which week 2 cup is going to be featured next week. But for all intents and purposes, I'm kind of leaning towards the one with Sunset Winds R for what it's worth. Gilded Prancer, obviously it's in this pipe, so they have to show it some love. It's now up to 15. Ironically, the Prancer actually has 19, which is more than the Gilded Prancer, but I think a lot of people think that the Gilded Prancer is the better of the two. But again, I think they're both pretty decent. The Gilded Prancer has Sunset Winds R, and the regular Prancer has Sunset Winds regular. So putting that out there. Clanky cart and Clackety cart. I've been kind of clumping these together, but hopefully it's not too distracting. We have the Clanky cart, Sunset Winds T, and Clackety cart has Sunset Winds R. Head Honcho, it has Sunset Winds T and Gold Cheap Charger or Snorkel. I apologize. It has Choco Island 2 RT, and then Swift Jack came with Sunset Winds R. So that covers all of these carts. Man, there's just so many carts. It actually kind of pains me to review that with you guys, but hopefully that's helpful. Spider Glider, obviously a newer glider. Not everyone went into this pipe, but it's already up to 9, which is decent after these 3. So this Spider Glider got Neo Bowser R, Neo Bowser T, and also Royal Raceway. So I know Royal Raceway has a lot of gliders for that option. Now next we have the Gold Crane, which out of all the cranes, I know this was a top 10. It's kind of been going in and out of that top 10 since we did the end of the year list there. But the Gold Crane has Sunset Winds T. So great glider there. Obviously being a coin glider, 21 tracks. That's a lot. Silver Bells, you see there, it's got 2 tracks. It has Waluigi Pinball RT and Sunset Winds T. Then we have the Daisy Glider, obviously a top 10 glider. I think it was right there at number 10. It's got 21 tracks, similar to Gold Crane. Obviously, it's seems to be one that keeps holding its value and a little bit more on the rare. I think it's one of Tabor's top 10 rarest of the gliders. It now has Sunset Winds T. Dragon Wings, you know where we stand on this. I personally love the glider, and I think even if I were to double cap a glider, I mean, this might be one that I do it on just because of its sheer coverage. If I'm going to pick between a couple different gliders that I have, and I have this one double capped, I'm just going to use it. And it's got, look at their 26 tracks. That's ridiculous. It has Sunset Winds T. You got Wicked Wings. It has Sunset Winds, the regular. Royal Parachute, that's in our top 10. That's in the special pipe that you see for Sunday. It's got 16 tracks. It's obviously a great glider. It comes with Sunset Winds, just the regular, so you might be able to use it this week. Cheap Masks, obviously it's one of the most interesting gliders we have there. I don't even know how it's a glider. It's got Neo Bowser City T. So obviously good for all these different Neo Bowser cities that seem to be getting buffed with a lot of these newer items, since Neo Bowser hasn't really been a big part of all cups in the last couple tours. We got the Chocolate Donut. It got 1 to now 15. It has Sunset Winds. We got Crimson Crane with it got added 1, and really the rest of these just were added 1. But Crimson Crane now has Sunset Winds R, and you got Blooper Wingtip. Now has Choco Island to RT. It's interesting there. And then the 8-bit now has Sunset Winds R. The Sweetheart Glider was just added Sunset Winds R. And then you have Goomba Hanafuda, which now is up to their 11 with the Waluigi Pinball RT. And last but not least, the Star Spangled Glider, now already up to 14, which is a pretty decent climb there. But again, a lot of these tracks that it has are city tracks, but it now has Koopa Troopa Beach, which obviously is a great track for it to have. Great information here. Hopefully this was helpful. This is what I try to look at, but be sure to keep a lookout on some of the spreadsheets that are up there for Tabor, and try to get a good understanding of where all the value is. But these were all the items that were buffed. Hopefully this is helpful. Good luck this tour, and until Sunday, enjoy the first few days of this Sunset Tour.